So here we have Bitcoin on the 1 hour. As you see, we are still making lower highs, lower lows. We came back up, had a little bit of a corrective rally. Well, what it seems to be isn't a corrective rally. Got rejected from the 100. Our 21 and 50 look like they're trying to curl up, but we could just get a retest of the 100 and resume down. We're going to find out whether that happens and if the bullish scenario plays out. We also got rejected from the POC, point of control, on the VPVR here to your right, which measures horizontal volume at a certain price level. Right now, your momentum is hitting some major resistance. Looks like it's trying to curl around to the downside. We did come up, made a little bit of an M, came back down, crossed our signal line. We need to get back above 20,548 in order to cross that signal line to the upside. So if we cross this neutral median line and this signal line gets a negative slope as well, I would expect us to get a small bounce at the bearish control zone, possibly even up to the neutral median line again, but after that I would expect us to enter in the bearish control zone. We're talking about the bearish case first. MACD, finding some resistance at the zero line. If this thing curls over, crosses that zero line again, and we start printing light green bars all the way down to zero on the histogram, I would expect us to cross this signal line. And then once that gets to the downside, that's also going to mean that this signal line is to the downside. And we're probably going to move down, probably get a bounce off of the 20,400 region. Also where the 200 will be once it works its way up there. That's going to be major support, okay? Now, if we fall below the 200, it is going to cascade down into, a lower low here. Honestly, if we cross below 20,300, I expect this to go to 16.5 over time. We are at a very important inflection point right now. We got economic data coming out this week. I think that's going to decide the true trend. And so be careful when that comes out, because usually there'll be a counter trend move first. And then so if it's long, you want to go short. Not right away. This is just my plan. If you guys get wrecked, I'm not your dad, it's your fault. All right, so, but that's what I do, because usually there's a corrective pump or dump the opposite way, and then the true trend is decided. Not always. Sometimes it moves and it keeps moving. All right, but the probabilities are in favor of the opposite move once it starts. Okay, so right now we do have bearish divergence on the, no, we do not actually. It was pretty close. Let's move on to the 4 hour. 4 hour, we're making a higher low, and the RSI is in the neutral median zone, testing the neutral median line, but we are below the signal line. So if we cross the neutral median line on a closure, I do expect us to come back down to the bearish control zone and get some sort of a bounce. Now, whether we enter the bearish control zone and break this last low on the RSI is going to decide whether we go deep into it. MACD, working its way down to the zero line, but your negative momentum is waning a bit. If we're going to go over the bullish case here in a second. Moving, your BBWP, which is a volatility measurement, has crossed below its moving average, which means we could consolidate here, maybe sideways for a while, hitting maybe this trend line at 20,000, 481 to 400. But remember, if we break 20,300, which is basically where the 50 is on the 4 hour, I would expect us to cascade down, get a bounce at 19,800, also one at 19,650. But ultimately, I think we'd work down to this purple zone at 18,750. All right, so that's pretty much the bearish case. It's going to be a short update today. It's pretty clear cut. We are at an important inflection point, and that's why it's so easy to analyze right now. Bullish case is that we break this last high and the 100 SMA. Also the point of control. So I'd like to see us get back above this wick high on a 1 hour closure. I would expect us to come up to 20,750. Now, if we can break 20,830 on a 1 hour closure, I would expect a small rejection at the 21,080 level, but ultimately I think we would go up to 22,500. That would also imply that we get this bounce from the neutral median line, cross this signal line, and break this last high on the RSI. Also, that would mean that your MACD continues its upside curvature, crosses that zero line, and gets back above this high on the MACD. And also starts printing some more dark green bars on that histogram as your BBWP crosses its moving average to the upside, and both of them get a positive slope as the BBWP line gets into the upper zone. Let's move on to the 8 hour. 8 hour, pretty neutral on the 8 hour right now. We are below the signal line, working our way down to the neutral median zone, neutral median line. If we do break this last low, I would expect us to test that. Let's see, MACD, fresh cross to the downside. Dark red bars are increasing on the histogram. BBWP is going to be printing a very low read here. That's why I said we could go sideways for a minute. I do think the volatility is about to pick up. Daily, getting rejected from the bullish control zone. We're probably going to find some sort of support on this signal line, but once we break it, I think we go all the way down to that neutral median line, probably enter the bearish control zone. We're going to find support or resistance right here. We got some last highs. We got the zero line. Right now you are above your signal line, but your positive momentum on the histogram is decreasing slightly as you lose your upside curvature. You did come up from a dark blue bar read multiple, so the volatility is here. You are above your moving average. I would expect this to turn around and go into the upper zone. The move is here. I mean, the volatility is here. Oh sweet. So right now you're trying to get back above the 21. Okay, like I said, if you can get back above this last high, 20,680, I would expect this to come all the way up here to 21,100 and then 22.5. All right, let's go over here. So you did get rejected from a bearish supply order block. Stochastic looks like it's going to curl back down across your signal line. If that happens and we break this last low, that's going to be going into the bearish control zone. So we're going to find out what happens next, because right now we are making higher highs, higher lows. But if we break this last low at 20,300, it's going to cascade down, probably get a bounce at 19,150. And then we'll come back to it. All right, so if you guys like this video so far, like and subscribe to the channel. Check out the links in the description below. One being the Discord. It is the place to be. We stay ahead of this market collectively. We talk about these moves before they happen on a daily basis. Join the Discord. Also, turn on those bell notifications so you get notified with this time-sensitive content. All right, sometimes I put these videos out and the move happens right after. All right, let's move on to Ethereum. Similar story here on Ethereum. Neutral median zone on your RSI. Testing that signal line. MACD curling over a little bit. Close to the zero line right now. Your signal line did just cross your zero line. And your positive momentum is pretty stable. But we're going to find out what happens next. BBWP is heading in the lower zone. Moving average has a negative slope. Probably could consolidate on top of these moving averages there for a minute. But if these things cross and fan out, that's going to decide your true trend. Now, if it's to the downside, I would expect a bounce at 1534 to 1535. If it goes to the upside and breaks this last high at 1605 region, I would expect this to come all the way up to 1700. All right, let's go to the 4 hour. 4 hour higher highs, higher lows, except for this one. Actually, yeah, we made a lower high. Unless we can get back above this last high, 1620. RSI, neutral right now for the RSI. Neutral median zone below your signal line. MACD, ooh, Strong downside curvature, but your negative momentum is waning a bit as you're losing your downside curvature a little bit. So if it crossed that signal line, you're probably going to break this last high. So watch your momentum right now, because it's going to be very important. Your BBWP is heading in the lower zone. Once again, I think we could probably consolidate here for a while, possibly on top of the 21, maybe even come down to this low, make some sort of a range here, until that BBWP crosses its moving average. Once that BBWP crosses its moving average, then pay attention to your momentum, then look at price action. Right now, your moving averages all had a multi-crossover and a fan-out confirmation. You've seen what happened. It's one of my signals that I use on a daily basis. And yeah, pretty high hit rate. You can watch my previous video called, let me think here, Traders Share Their Strategies and Insights on Current Market Conditions. If you watch that video, it will show you how I do my multi-crossover and which indicators I use to add to the confirmation. All right, so let's go over here. Oh, okay, so you did get front ran of a bullish demand order block and the top side of your Bollinger Bands. Then you came back down, found support on your middle band, which is the 20 SMA, and you're heading back up, but it looks like you could be making a lower high here. We're going to find out. Your stochastic's curling over a bit. If you cross your signal line, start getting down to that neutral median line at the 50. Oh, that's what you bounced off of. You bounced right off of that neutral median line. So if you cross that signal line, you're probably going to break down below that neutral median line, which is going to mean you break this level at 1565. All right, so let's move on to Solana. Like the video, comment, tell me what you think, and let's move on. Solana, respecting our purple boxes to the exact, I mean, we've had these purple boxes drawn forever, and I mean, they've been getting respected to the exact price level time and time again. Multi-crossover on Solana. Solana looks pretty good right now, actually. If we can break this top of this purple zone at 34.80, I expect us to come all the way up to $39, $40. Right now, your RSI. But a lot of this is going to depend on what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin shits the bed, Solana's going to shit the bed too. And they'll just, you know what I mean, shit the bed together. So below your signal line, pretty neutral right now. Let's see here. Did have bearish divergence. That already played out. All right. And your MACD, okay, fresh retest to the downside. Negative momentum is pretty stable. As your BBWP is coming down in the lower zone. So if you break the 21 at 32.60, probably going to come down to the 50 at 31.80, 31.92 region. And I would expect another small bounce at 31.43 and another one at 30.50. And after that, we'll come back to it, because if we start breaking down, that means Bitcoin broke down, and Solana's probably going to go to $26. But like I said, if we break to the upside, I could see 39.40. Let's see here. So moving averages 21 and your 50 have converged. Right now you are finding support on them, and this VPVR level. RSI, testing your signal line right now. If you cross it, it's not going to be good. You're going to find resistance here on this zero line. So starting to look like this thing could consolidate for a minute and then possibly roll over. So definitely stay nimble right now, because shit could get ugly. All right. Now, if Bitcoin pops up, then Solana's going to go with it. But if Bitcoin drops below that level, it's not going to look good at all. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, once again, if you guys like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. What are you doing? We do daily analysis. We interview traders, investors, market experts, YouTubers. I mean, we interview all kinds of people, and we do daily analysis every single day. So, everyone have a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, and I will see you tomorrow.